Hello everyone, I'm Guido Grimbaum and I'm going to begin Module 25 of the Microcredentials program. We are living through a time of profound transformation in education, and this is not just a trend or another tool. We are witnessing a structural change, the transition from diplomas to data, from degrees to verifiable evidence. In the last 5 years, the use of microcredentials has grown more than tenfold globally. What was once an experimental innovation is now part of the new educational language of the world, and in this module, we are going to look ahead. What will that world look like between 2025 and 2030? It depends on us. What trends will shape the path, and how can universities prepare to lead this change? To understand the future, we need to look at three forces that are transforming education: automation, technology, and the demand for results. First, labor automation. More than 60% of the jobs in the next decade will require skills that are not currently covered by traditional curricula. Second, technological disruption. Blockchain, artificial intelligence, and interoperable data are creating a new ecosystem of educational trust. And third, the pressure for traceability. Governments, students, and companies want to know whether a credential has real and verifiable value. In this context, microcredentials become the basic unit of learning: small, modular, transferable, and above all, verifiable. By 2030, higher education will resemble a global operating system more than a collection of isolated universities. And each credential will be a code of trust that allows movement between institutions, countries, and employers. The first major trend we will see is total interoperability. Until recently, each university had its own system, its own formats, its own certificates. That is changing. Europe already operates with the European Learning Model, ELM, and the European Digital Credentials Infrastructure, EDSI. The United States, through OneTech, promotes the Open Badge 3.0 standards, which are now the common language for educational and digital recognition. And Latin America, together with Asia and Oceania, is beginning to join these global frameworks. The future demands credentials that can be verified anywhere in the world without depending on the institution that issued them. The second trend is the impact of artificial intelligence. Until now, microcredentials were designed manually, but AI already makes it possible to analyze course descriptions, learning outcomes, and career paths to build dynamic skill profiles. For example, a student completes 3 microcredentials, one in data analysis, another in leadership, and another in communication. AI automatically recognizes that they meet the criteria for a cross-disciplinary certification in data leadership. That changes everything. Learning becomes adaptive, cumulative, and lifelong, and it forces universities to integrate their academic data with intelligent systems capable of mapping real skills. The third trend is the emergence of national credential ecosystems. Countries are building skill wallets, digital wallets where each person stores all their verified credentials, regardless of who issued them. Spain, Portugal, and Finland are integrating their systems with Europe. Chile and Mexico are making progress with projects supported by UNESCO and the IDB. And Australia already has a national system in operation since 2024. This means that educational power is being decentralized. The student becomes the owner of their own learning. Credentials are no longer held by universities, but instead are in the hands of individuals. The fourth trend: hybrid credentials between universities and companies. The boundary between education and employment is disappearing. Today, many universities co-issue credentials with private organizations to validate real-world job skills. Examples include Google Career Certificates with state universities in the United States, IBM Skill Build with European institutions. These joint credentials, thank you, are the new currency of lifelong learning. Companies use them to select talent and universities to stay relevant. The fifth trend is continuous re-accreditation. Until now, a degree certified something that happened in the past, but the job market demands up-to-date evidence. That's why the microcredentials of the future will have a review or expiration date, like a professional license. Professionals will need to reaccredit themselves periodically, and universities will be able to offer those continuous updating processes. In this way, learning truly becomes lifelong. The sixth trend is ethics and trust. As automation increases, transparency becomes the most important value. UNESCO, the European Union, and OneTech are promoting global ethical frameworks for the use of data and artificial intelligence in education. Universities will have to take on a new role, that of guardians of academic truthfulness. Every credential issued will be an act of trust. and that trust will be the main institutional asset. The seventh trend is global modular learning. Study programs are being broken down into small units that can be combined across institutions. A student will be able to build their career by adding modules from different universities and countries. Imagine 3 microcredentials in innovation from Chile and 1 in sustainability from Spain, and another in global leadership from the United States, all accumulated in their digital wallet, recognized by different institutions. The result, a truly international, flexible, and personalized education. The eighth trend has to do with the integration of credentials, AI, and employability. By 2028, we will see platforms that directly connect micro-credential profiles with job offers. Companies will no longer look for resumes. They will look for verified evidence of skills. The job market will become automated around trusted data, and universities will be the main providers of that data. Education and work will merge into a single digital system. The ninth trend, global collaboration and public policy. Governments are beginning to see micro-credentials as tools for national development. They will be integrated with employment agencies, skill statistics, and educational frameworks. Credentials. They become public infrastructure. The countries that move first, like Ireland, Australia, or Chile, will lead the new knowledge economy. In summary, by 2030, we will see a connected, interoperable, ethical, and people-centered ecosystem. The universities that adapt will take the lead. Those that don't will be left out of the new language of learning. And that language has 3 key words: trust, portability, and evidence. The future of education is not the degree, but the living proof of what we know how to do. Microcredentials are the new infrastructure of trust among universities, governments, companies, and individuals. A degree says, "Who were you?" A digital credential shows who I am today. And that is the real change awaiting us between 2025 and 2030. A future that has already begun and now depends more than ever on the decisions we make today. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed and liked this module and that you learned enough to move on to the next one. I'll see you in the next module. Thank you very much.